If I do what I say I will do, will I be pretty close to an integrity standard that you'd like? Sure. But you can see how we define these behaviors as individual. So some of our clients have said, I keep my promises. Oh, that works for me. But there's some work that you have to do in advance of that. I have to be bold about clarifying my promise. I have to formalize it in writing. I have to get agreement from the internal customers or external. Does you see how this works? But I can't do what I say I will do if I don't have a system of tracking what I promised to do and I follow up. We've got a client working right now on their valued behaviors, and they're talking about following up if I'm going to miss a deadline. I have to communicate what the problem is and how I'm going to fix it in advance of the deadline. I thought, oh, that's really cool. There's some cool things if you think about. I just want behaviors that are going to require people to be open, honest, transparent, and supportive. Okay, let's keep going. So company values have to be defined in behavioral terms. In other words, think about I do what I say I will do. Could you put that into a survey twice a year and have every direct report rate their leader on the degree to which that leader does what she says she's going to do? 6-point scale. We don't do an odd scale because the midpoint doesn't tell us crap, right? But if you start thinking about if we make behaviors that are measurable, now we're getting to a place where we can make respect as clear with hard data in our traction and our progress as we have for results, right?
And finally, and this is the hard part, that's why it's grayed out, a lot of companies, and Chris, you say this better than I do, but they say, like, oh, forget this new culture, you don't pay me enough to be nice to these people, right? Well, those people have to go be successful somewhere else. As Chris says, lovingly set them free. Right? Because we've now defined our culture, and most of us have aligned to the culture, and now the refinement stage is either helping coach, mentor the people towards alignment or towards the door. And that's what it boils down to. If you, for instance, have your top salesperson in a normal company is also a sexist, misogynist, racist, happens everywhere, happens all the time. But leaders won't let him go. It's usually him because he's bringing in the most dollars. Well, you know what happens when you finally let him go? Everybody else goes, thank God. What took you so long? And now productivity goes up. Sales actually go up. For months, we've been worried about letting this jerk go. And then it turns out that letting the jerk go actually helped us.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. So that's the refined process.
Let me speak to the timing for this. This is typically an 18-month process. It can be slightly faster in a smaller organization. It can be slightly bigger in a larger organization, meaning that we've seen tangible alignment make significant benefits to engagement and sanity in 6 months. And we've also seen companies work for 2 years and never hold people fully accountable, which means you're never going to get that full alignment, that full traction. Let's talk about the organizational constitution. So this is language that makes sense. We could have gone back to the Magna Carta, I know. So constitution makes sense to us, but we're talking about an organizational constitution. And it literally means your servant purpose is formalized in this document, then 3 to 5, as Mark said, defined values, and each value has 3 to 5 behaviors. The world's largest retailer, it was a 3-state division that grew to a 7-state division, had 400 stores, 85,000 associates. Holy God, that's a big beast. And engagement went up 40%. Service went up 45%. Results went up 45%. The hometown headquarters in Arkansas went, what are you feeding those people? This is what they were feeding them. And in essence, they chose 32 separate behaviors What do I know? And it worked. It worked beautifully for them.